Hey folks, this is the True American Podcast. As you know, this is a podcast where we try to give a conservative perspective on local politics and state politics, and the state we're referring to is the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Obviously, there are times I do deal with national issues or issues that have happened outside of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and then try to bring those issues home so that we can have some type of discussion about them and see what, if anything, we can learn from what happened. Now, I'm talking to a situation where, and this is all throughout, this story is all around Twitter. So if you have a Twitter account, look for it. But basically what happened it was in an Asian nail shop, and most black folk in urban areas, we're familiar with those. Those are, again, usually owned by Asian American brothers and sisters. Most times, from what I can see from Korea, they're very, very popular in urban black communities. And what I mean by very, very popular, I mean black female customers. You know, they really go into those shops a lot. They're frequent customers, and they appear to be very, very loyal customers. Well, in this one situation, happened not too long ago, happened in East Flatbush, New York. It happened at a place called Red Apple Nails. Apparently a grandmother went in there, black grandmother went in there with her two granddaughters. She had an eyebrow job done. She didn't like the eyebrow job. She claimed the job was, and I quote, botched, and she refused to pay the $5 service fee. She refused to pay the $5 for the eyebrow situation. And because, now here's one thing where we need to engage in some rational thinking. There had to have been some sort of happening or time frame between the time a customer says, well, this job is no good, I'm not going to pay for it, and the retail owner's reaction. What was said within that time frame, I don't know. It hasn't been reported yet, but you can daggone believe it will be out soon. The point is, the job was done. The customer didn't like it. The customer refused to pay, and then the customer was attacked. She was attacked. She was attacked with broom handles and something else. And the Korean folk even threw some type of acetone, ACETON or TONE, I don't know, some sort of liquid, threw it in the woman's face. Now, again, the fact is the job was done. The grandmother didn't like it. The grandmother said she wanted to pay for it. The Korean workers at this nail shop attacked the woman, and it's brazen. I mean, it's an attack. It's an attack, flat out. And it was all captured on a video camera by one of the customers. And so the police obviously were called. Someone called the police. I don't know who. I don't know how long it took the police to arrive. But once the police arrived, the fact is they arrested one of the workers and a customer. It's not clear what customer they arrested, but they arrested a customer. It's not clear why they arrested a customer or who the customer was. From what I can pick up, the grandmother and her two grandchildren, they either left or they stood outside the shop. I don't know. But I don't even know if maybe she was arrested. I don't know. But those are the facts of the situation. Now, here's some of the response we're getting from a lot of these black liberals and black nationalists and so-called conscious community people and revolutionaries and that kind of stuff. And their reaction is stop anti-black hate and stop, in speaking to black folks, stop going to these Asian-owned nail shops and do your own nails or start your own nail shops. And one thing a lot of white folks don't understand, is that there has been something of a bittersweet relationship between Korean Americans and black Americans. It was very similar to that was a very similar situation, decades ago between Jewish business owners in urban areas and black customers. King Jr., Malcolm X, a lot of those folks dealt with that issue. They talked about that issue a lot. And that's why sometimes the way King Jr. would address this conflict, this struggle, this tension between Jewish owners, business owners, and black communities, and the black community and black customers, King Jr. was referred to as an anti-Semite. Yeah, in the way he addressed it, the way he talked about it. And of course, Malcolm X and Nation of Islam, they were referred to as anti-Semitic because of the way they addressed it. I'm not saying that they were. I'm not saying that the remarks were anti-Semitic, and I'm not saying that they weren't anti-Semitic. I'm just saying that was the situation. And that situation is now transferred into a situation where a lot of Korean American owners, business owners, in black neighborhoods, providing services like food services and nail services, and sometimes beauty supplies. There's that conflict. There's that bittersweet conflict there, and a lot of black folk, very prominent black folk, people I would call the so-called activists and thought leaders, they address that conflict, the bittersweet conflict, and they're referred to as anti-Asian. Do you remember? Wasn't too long ago there's supposed to be an anti-Asian hate campaign. We had the battle against anti-Asian hate. So we got a battle against all sorts of hate, right? Got an anti-black hate and anti-Asian hate and anti-trans hate. We got all sorts of hate we got a battle against. Time you turn around, there's a new hate we got a battle against. But anyway, let's get back to the topic here. So there is that ongoing conflict that's going on. And many times, look, folk, there are times when, and this is all documented, when some Korean or Asian shop owners go overboard in the reaction to how a black customer might do something. If there was one 15-year-old, her name is Latasha. Let me get her last names here. Her sister's name was Latasha. She was 15 years old. And a Korean shop owner thought she was shoplifting a juice bottle. And that Korean woman shot and killed that 15-year-old girl over a juice bottle. Understand that. Tried to kill that little girl over a juice bottle. Come find out later the little girl had the money on her. But even if the little girl was shoplifting, you're going to take her life over a juice bottle? And folks, there are many examples like that in Korean shop places where their response to black owners, black customers, either they don't like the customer, there's some sort of conflict with the customer. Man, they would just go hog butt crazy in the response. Folks, I used to work at Speedway. And I want to make this perfectly clear. These are my opinions I'm expressing. This is in no way reflective of anybody else's opinion, including Speedway. Fact matter is I used to work at Speedway, and Speedway used to tell us, hey, if someone tries to steal gas, don't chase after them. Just get as much information on the vehicle as you can, report it to the police. If someone tried to steal beer, cases of beer, and folks, you'd be surprised how people would walk in there and walk out with a case of beer. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough to where, as a Speedway worker, I'd be shocked. I remember one time I was at a Speedway place. My manager sent me over to pick up something from another manager and talk to the manager about me possibly doing some work there at her store. And I literally saw this guy walk in, went to the cooler, and I'm a seasoned Speedway worker. And I'm just looking at the guy, taking note. He takes the stuff. He starts walking towards the door, and I say out loud, "Hey, dude, you need to pay for that." And the dude started. He didn't even really start running. He just started moving quicker towards the door. The manager tried to stop him. She said, "Hey, don't do that. Don't go nowhere." Pay for that first. Dude just dropped it and went on. And then she just picked the beer up, and she just kept on talking to me. Like it was like, hey, whatever, it happens. But she was not to chase after that guy. She was not to shoot that guy. And she definitely wasn't supposed to go grab a broom handle and start hitting the guy. So here's one thing I'm feeling you. Small business owners, their profit margin is not that high. It's not that good. And they are victims of shoplifting and armed robbery and all that other kind of stuff. That's true. And they should defend themselves. But folks, come on now. You're going to take sticks to someone over a $5 conflict? Bro. I don't know how to say it in Korean or any other language, but that's just stupid. That's just ignorant beyond ignorant. Okay? I mean, if it'd been me, I would have said, okay, fine. You want to pay the followers? Get your booty out of here. Don't come back. That's it. It's over. Conflict's over. Or, now here's the other thing. That grandmother could have said, man, I ain't happy with this. I don't want to pay for this. I want to talk to the manager. And the manager talks, negotiates. Hey, man, what happened? Okay, I'm sorry. Can we make it up? Can I give you something else? Can we, something. Let's work it out. You don't take broomsticks to them. Are you stupid? Apparently you are. You sit there and talk all this cultural stuff all you want. But that's just dumb business. It has nothing to do with your culture. It's got nothing to do with your skin tone. It's got nothing to do with your background. That's just dumb way to do business. Now, here's another thing I would say to the grandmother. Come on, sis, $5? You couldn't have just flipped them $5 and said, man, I ain't coming back here. Or you couldn't have just flipped them $5 and say, I ain't coming back here, and then write a letter to the Better Business Bureau. Or tell your friends, tell 10, 12, 15 of your friends, hey, man, I went down there. They messed up my eyebrow thing. Man, I went here and flipped them $5 and let them know I ain't coming back. And you know what? You tell 10, 15 people like that, I guarantee you they're going to tell, each one of them going to tell 2, 3 other people like that. Okay? I mean, but how it got to the point of, man, we're going to physically attack this woman. I don't know. But I think both sides could have handled it better. But the bottom line, though, is a shop owner, you attacking folk over a conflict over, a transaction. I mean, it's not like the sister was trying to steal, just went in there and just stole from you. It's not like she was looting the store. It's not like she was passing you counterfeit money. It's not like she was, gave you a bad check. She just refused to pay for the service because she felt the service was no good. At that point, it should not escalate to some craziness like, I'm not going to pay, or escalate to some craziness of, we're going to take a stick to you. Something happened there. Something happened there. And there's enough blame on both sides. But the physical attack against the customer, that's dumb. And I know here locally with some Asian shop owners, they've done that. I mean, they've done it. I remember one time it was down there in West End. Everybody knows where it is. Down there, 26 and Broadway, where that laundry place is and the Barber College place. And some black kid, he was either messing around or doing something stupid, doing something he shouldn't have been doing, flat out, no doubt. He was acting dumb. And for some reason, the Asian owner came out and started chasing the bro and grabbed him and all. Oh, come, dude. He's outside your shop. He was close to a half a block away. We chasing him for what? What did he do? Grab some money? What did he do? Grab one of your workers or your child? Grabbed your car? He's gone. Let him go. Post a picture of him in your shop saying, hey, you're no longer welcome in here. Leave it at that. But you chased after the guy? And so then the response from the so-called black activists and conscious community was, oh, we need to drive him out of the community and we need to stop patronizing him. We need to stop this invasion of these foreigners coming in here and and providing all these services. First of all, let me tell you something. All them daggone Asian places, they're in black communities. If they were to leave, they would not be replaced. Let me say it again. If all those Asian folks were to leave these black urban areas, I don't care if it's Harlem, Brooklyn, West End, I don't care. They would not be replaced. All these, these black radicals, liberals, revolutionaries, they talk all that stuff about, they come in here, these Asians come in here, and they do this, and they don't give us good customer service, but they're there, ain't they? They're there, you're not there. Why? They're there, you're not there. Why? These Arabs, Asians come in here, provide these services, establish businesses, provide services and products, and you want to complain about it. Well, why are they there? You got black folk, they're living right there. They're not starting these businesses and providing these products and services. Many times these folks, they're first generation immigrants. They're coming in here and providing it. So why is that? Whose fault is that? This is a free market, dude. Even with these idiot libtards in the Democratic Party trying to turn us into a socialist cesspool, we're still a free market economy. Free market capitalism, thank God, still reigns in this country. And what does that mean? That means you have the opportunity to come here and establish a business, go into business for yourself. And you have, and win or lose. I mean, it's all up to you for the most part. So they're coming in here, establishing these businesses, and these black folks are complaining. These black folks are saying, leave. Man, if they were to leave, y'all Negroes wouldn't replace them. They'd just be empty buildings, empty retail buildings. And I'm saying that dead to your face. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me. Do your research. Show me some stats. Man, shut up. Here's the other thing I would like to say, though. A lot of those Asian and Arab places, I do a lot of, fundraising for different community activities. And you go to small business owners and you ask for a donation or whatever. Anything they can offer. And let me tell you something, folks. These small business owners, I don't care if they're black, white, Asian, Arab, I don't care. They're struggling. It's hard to do what they do. It's hard. So when you got a bunch of knuckleheads coming in, shoplifting them and shoplifting, stealing their stuff. You got some idiots walking through the streets, claim they protesting, looting your stores, busting out your windows. Man, it's hard. That's money out of their pocket. Small business owners, they're the fuel of one of the greatest, largest economies in the world. They provide a lot of employment. And so, I'm sorry, folk. We, and I'm speaking to black folk right now. Y'all white folk can listen, but I'm speaking to black folk right now. I'm hoping that the black folk will listen and act. Man, we need to stop hostility towards small business owners. We need to stop. We need to be more supportive of them, regardless of the color of their skin or ethnic background. We need to be talking about less government regulation. We need to be talking about lower taxes or even no taxes for small business owners. We need to be talking about what can be done to provide entrepreneurs with capital to get small businesses started and going. It's hard to be a small business owner. But they give us such great benefit. Secondly, black folk, man, stop your whining about what someone else is doing. Do for self. Do it yourself. I've spoken to some of these Korean guys, at least tried to speak to some of these Korean guys. A lot of times they can barely speak English. Man, they did it. It was a struggle for them, but they did it. They saw the opportunity and they just rolled up their sleeves and they went there and did it. You can too. And them folks aren't doing anything that us black folk can't do. So stop whining about, someone else took the opportunity. Someone else went out there and did the hustle and the grind. No, you do it. You take care. You take advantage of the opportunity. You do the hustle and the grind. You go in there. And we do have a lot of black entrepreneurs, at least here in the city of Louisville, who do that. Got some great black-owned restaurants here. And I find it hard to believe we don't have any black-owned nail salons here in West Louisville. I'm not saying there are. I'm not saying there are any. I'd be surprised if there were none. But I know, I've had one or two members of my family. They trained to be one of those nail people. I think they call them nail technicians. Hey, I was like, hey, that's great. There's an opportunity there. Because I tell you, sisters, black women, man, they love getting their hair done. They love buying their beauty supplies. They love getting them extensions. They love getting their hair braided. They love getting their nails done. Oh, there's a market for that. There's a market for that. I knew one young black woman. She was a young girl. She was training on how to do hair braiding. And the schools was paying her so much tuition. And I asked the little girl, I guess she was a teenager, and I said, sis, can you really make money doing that? She said, let me tell you something, Coach. Some of these women would pay up to $400 a head. I said, girl, where do I sign up and learn how to do that? She just laughed. And I know some members of my family, black women in my family, I said, how much you pay to get that done? I've never heard any of them say less than $200. Never heard any of them say less than $200. Not once. Girl. So I applaud that. And that's the kind of stuff we need to encourage in the black community. Stop whining, crying, complaining about someone else taking, seeing an opportunity and going after it. And then applying, doing their hustle and grind. Stop complaining about them. They ain't doing nothing you can't do. They're not doing anything you can't do. They have the same opportunity you did. Shut up. And you pursue that opportunity too. And fortunately, there are a lot of black entrepreneurs here in Louisville who are doing that. And I'm just simply saying, hey, support them. And then two, encourage more. That's all I'm saying. But this one particular situation happened at East Flatbush, New York, Red Apple Nails. Over the weekend, they shut down because, of course, they had to have the protesters out there to, anti-black hatred, anti-black hatred. Look, shut up. Shut up. The issue is, there are two issues here. One, y'all dumb bunny Asian and Arab folks, y'all need to improve a bit on your customer service. Because let me tell you something. These white folks who are at bigger corporations, they don't do that. They wouldn't put up with that. Man, if I was at Speedway and somebody refused to pay for $5 for gas or something like that, and then I jumped over the counter and started hitting them with a stick. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I wouldn't even go back across the counter. I'd just keep on walking. I know I would be fired. They wouldn't put up with that kind of crazy response. Well, he was stealing. He refused to pay. We don't care. You just don't attack customers like that. That's the same attitude you daggone Korean and Arabs need to take. I'm sorry. I'm flat out saying it. That's the attitude anybody in business, black or white, Arab or Asian, should take. Man, is it worth it? Taking a stick to somebody over man, shut up. Here's the second thing I want to conclude with. We lost my track of mind a little bit there. Black folk, we need to teach our children more about entrepreneurship, free market capitalism, starting businesses. It would be small businesses or big businesses. We need to talk to our young black youth more about hedge funds and mutual funds and asset management funds, just over and all like that. We have some black folk, some black thought leaders and black folk in public offices who are as ignorant as can be about free market capitalism. They are ignorant. They're not ignorant. They're ignorant about free market capitalism. Ignorant about free market capitalism. We need to teach our children, our young people, when I say we, I mean that's black folk, about free market capitalism. They need to learn about Adam Smith and his classic book, the wealth of nations. They need to learn about Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, Hayek. He wrote the classic, The Road to Serfdom. We need to do that, starting young, through elementary school, middle school, high school, and beyond. We need to make that information accessible to them, per their age level and reading level. Yes, too many people. It wasn't too long ago. You had some idiot. I'm not going to say his name, so that's why I feel comfortable calling him an idiot. He said that capitalism is a new form of slavery. I cracked up. So I guess that's why all those daggone Mexicans are pouring across the border, because they want to be slaves to capitalism. Man, these people are dumb. So we need to do our own education, and this comes down to just poor business practices, and and black folk. The response, black folks' response is, "Oh, we need to stop patronizing them." We always need to be looking at, when we see a market opportunity, hey, how can we jump in there and take advantage of it? I mean, period. It's not like black women just overnight started getting into, hair braiding and beauty supplies and getting the nails done, that kind of stuff. That's been here for a minute. That's been here for a minute. And if somehow or another black entrepreneurs ain't taking advantage of that, that's on them. That's on that entrepreneur. It's not on that dumb bunny Korean who wants to jump over a counter and hit a customer with a broom handle over a $5 conflict. Folks, this is a true American. Appreciate you listening. Please like, subscribe, and promote.